Morning. The concept I'm going to talk about this morning is integral. It might be difficult to understand. Please bear with me. This is a concept that if I present it in the right way, if I can help you understand it this morning, will have a profound impact on your life. It will legitimately start changing your actions. I've talked a lot about, if you've heard me speak at all, I talk about we want to have certain things, but in order to have certain things, we need to take certain actions. We can't become a millionaire without building a business. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have complete financial freedom if you're working a 9 to 5 or working 9 to 5. It's not going to happen. Okay, so you need to take certain actions, but in order to take those actions, that's so hard. We've got to sell, and we've got to market, we've got to do all these things that are really difficult, and network with people, and get out of our comfort zone. And if that's the case, if we need to do those things, that can be really difficult for people. And you see this everywhere. You see it with people that are trying to diet, trying to lose weight, trying to live a healthier lifestyle, trying to change their relationships, trying to learn a musical instrument or learn a language. All of those things are actions in order to get to a goal. But in order to take those actions, we need to think differently, we need to become somebody different. I'm going to give you an example. There's a difference between saying, I'm not eating any sugar right now, or I'm on a diet, versus I'm healthy, and that doesn't fit. Do you hear the difference with that? Right now I'm not eating sugar, I'm on a diet, versus I don't touch the stuff. I'm working toward my long-term health. That's a completely different identity that we have. If you can take on a different identity, you will change the actions you take and the results you have. Okay, so this is the key: change your actions through changing your identity. For example, I'm not a morning person. When you say, and I've probably said it many times, but if you say you're not a morning person, you're simply trying to create the habit. It's going to be far more difficult to create that habit. Okay. When you see yourself as a morning person, when I see myself as getting up at 4:45, I'll get up at 4:45 because it's part of my identity. It's easy to fulfill that. But if I'm always going against my identity, there's something happening in my mind where it's always going against who I believe I am. So it's going to be difficult. So there's a difference between saying I'm learning violin versus I'm a musician. That's a difference. One is I'm trying to do something outside of maybe who I am, and the other is, no, I'm doing this in accordance with who I am. Okay. What about sales? To say I'm a salesperson. I'm a business owner. I'm a salesperson. They're the same thing. Versus I don't like sales. I'm not comfortable talking about sales with people. There's eating chocolate cake. There's getting up at certain times. I'm trying to think about other things. Relationships. All of these things that we want to change come back down to identity. And as you start to identify yourself as somebody who simply does these things, you will start taking that action far easier. I am fit, I'm healthy, and I consistently work towards my health. That's completely different than saying I'm on a diet right now, or I'm trying to work out more often. That's so different. Pay attention to your language. Pay attention, even your memory. Do you say things like, oh, I've got a terrible memory. I'm trying to get rid of my debt. Or do you say, it'll come back to me because I've got a great memory. Okay, my brain works well. Or do you say, what did I say, debt? Do you say, instead of I'm working towards getting rid of my debt, do you say, I'm creating wealth that'll help for generations? That's different. The mindset is different. I hope you hear this. This is such an important point to make and to understand. The next thing is, how do you change your identity? Well, one of it is through your words. The way you talk will determine a little bit how you start to act and how you think about yourself. Okay, so one was how you talk to yourself. Another is how you perceive yourself. So visualize. You've got to visualize. This is a great habit to start visualizing yourself every day as the person who is successful. Because it's so many people, I think, consider wealth as kind of winning the lottery. So they think, oh, I could be my same person and somehow manage millions of dollars. That's not going to happen. People that win the lottery are broke. I was talking to somebody today who said their brother, it was some relative, their son, their nephew, I can't remember. Anyway, it was some relative, and they said they won $100,000, and within 3 months it was gone, and their life was no better because they haven't changed who they are. So they don't think like somebody who has more money and can manage more money. So one way you can do this is visualize yourself having more money, having the things you want. And that's not just stuff, okay? It's not just material possessions. It could be relationships. It could be running a business properly. It could be speaking a language, whatever it is. And visualize yourself, who would the kind of person that does that well be? What time are you waking up? What's the look on your face when I wake up in the future? What's the look on my face when I'm interacting with people? Am I engaged? Am I disengaged? Am I excited? Am I discouraged? What are my habits like? What is this person, this Mark who I want to become? Who is that person like? And start visualizing myself being that person. Once I start doing that, things start to fall in place. There's been a lot of research on this. It was back, I think, in the 60s, but research where they would go to a psych ward and go to people who have delusional thinking, people who are really distressed, okay? And their mind is not working the way our culture says it should, okay? And they go to this place and they ask them to write a psych evaluation. And this is the only stipulation. They said, write it as if you were healthy. Write it as if you were healthy. You know what? These people started passing the tests, which these tests are written so that you can't pass them if you're not healthy psychologically. Fascinating what happens as you start to visualize yourself as somebody else. Here's another idea. What you could do is look at somebody who is successful in the way you want to be successful, whether that's sports or like whatever it is, and then start to act like that person. Start to visualize what that person does. Again, make the connection between you and them. The last thing is, we're talking about habit creation, start doing certain things in a certain way. Here's the crazy thing. I've said you need to change who you are before you're going to change your actions on a consistent basis. I agree with that. Having said that, you can change your actions for periods of time, and that will start to influence who you are. As you start to learn the violin, you can start going, oh, wait a second, maybe I am a musician. Hey, I got that piece pretty quick. Or I talked to that person, and they bought my stuff, and it wasn't uncomfortable. I actually helped them a lot. Maybe I am a salesperson. As you start to change your actions, you start to change your ideas. As you change your identity or your ideas, you start to change your actions. And that all works towards what you want. Play with these ideas. For today, I've given you a few ideas, so choose the one that works for you and start practicing this today, right now, for the next 5 minutes. And you will start to see that you can enjoy the process.